It's time for your favorite compas, and this is your Super Bowl preview episode. Gilbert, you know we have plenty to say about the Eagles and the Chiefs heading into the Super Bowl, into their matchup on Sunday. And that reminds me, do you have a question for our viewers and listeners?
Fernando, I feel like you're burying the lead. Here we are, Super Bowl Radio Row,
Well, yeah.
Super Bowl 57. But yes, the big question, engagement question of the week: Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got? I'm gonna keep it simple, Fernando, because it's a big game. Get in the comments, YouTube. If you're on the audio, get on YouTube. Comment Chiefs or Eagles. Super Bowl 57 from Arizona or Glendale, to be exact.
Are you tomahawking or are you flying high? That's the difference this week. To another person who we all know, we don't even have to ask. He's flying high. Let's go to Dan and Dago now.
Welcome one, welcome all, live all the way in Arizona at Radio Row. How in the hell are we all doing? We're all hyped. You already know your boy Dan and Dago's turning heads, not because I'm saying things that are interesting, but my volume is too loud. You already know what it is. So I apologize to everybody before they throw me out of here. Let me get to a few important things. Real quick, just a quick shout out to the program here, your favorite program. We got some merch dropping. Look at this nice little shirt. Look at that, it says Compas on the beat, but don't worry. If you think that logo's too small on the front, I got your ass. Look at how big that is on the back. Look at that thing right there. That is absolute fire. Do not be the stooge who shows up next season to your Sunday watch parties looking like a jackass in any other gear. Support your favorite program. Be a compa, tell a compa, and don't worry, if t-shirts aren't your thing, we got you. We got a few hats. What? We got this. Everybody in San Diego knows it gets a little chilly when it gets below 70 and there's a few clouds. We got a little sweatshirt action for you. What? It's only me. Don't worry, I can chorus for myself. If you like this merch, let us know in the comments. Do not be afraid to rate it. Rate it in there. Tell us everything you like. All the behind the scenes we've been getting you, the content. Make sure you follow all the pages. Be a compa, tell a compa. And hey, my personal favorite, do not be afraid to raid those freaking comment sections and oh no, I can't do it. I will get thrown out if I say it like I do. Let that stooge Gilberto know he's a scumbag. Do not be afraid to get in there and let him know. We appreciate all the love. And hey, we got a lot of stuff coming for you. If you guys have been checking out the main page, we got stuff from Media Night. Got to speak to a lot of people. How the hell Dan and Dago's still in here is beyond me. But hey, buddy, I'm going to keep going. We got shows coming up. We got huge interviews coming up. Do not forget, keep on the page, stalk the page. You never know who's going to be stopping by. Who? You never know. You already know. And if you need a little preview, I'll say this. The boys will give you some later. Look at last year's Super Bowl videos. Do not forget to check those out. Do not forget to go on What's Up Bolts. Check out the interview with Melvin Gordon. We got it all up there. But anyway, it's time from all the way in Arizona. Let's get to your favorite program.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. We are at Radio Row Super Bowl LVII, Super Bowl 57 in Phoenix. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Los Angeles Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, OC Red Shirt. Free agent, actually. What's up, bro?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I didn't, but I
okay,
had to,
all right.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, wait, he's about to do the intro, and yeah. I'm not gonna say
free agent.
I'm unemployed, free agent, but today I'm working for the brand. Compas on the beat.
There you go.
Got the shirt right here. Let me know in the comments if you want a shirt or a hoodie or a hat. We got merchandise coming, but enough with the promos. We're here, Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, Phoenix, and yes, maybe I'll get to the whole looking for a job thing later, but we are here in Arizona talking Super Bowl. I did just wrap up 4 years at the OC Register, LA Daily News. I enjoyed my time covering the Chargers, covering the Rams, what, a little bit of everything, but always a new chapter. But this episode, this week, Fernando, I'm focused on you. Is that okay? Can we focus on us? Victor, producer, Dan and Dago, here we are. And Fernando, I want to start off the show by saying this. Last year, we were like big-eyed walking in. I was looking at the Super Bowl banners like, okay, cool, we got here. This year, I'm opening up the little door to Radio Row at the Phoenix Convention Center. We belong. This is what we do on a yearly basis. I don't know how you felt, Fernando.
No, yeah, I mean, and I mean, we both had previous. We had been to Super Bowls and everything, but not like this. Like this is completely different. This is you load up the wagon literally and figuratively, and you come in with all your stuff and you sit down. And obviously, Dan and Dago came prepared with snacks again, so that was pretty funny. But definitely, it's interesting to be back here again. And yeah, just looking forward to everything that's going to happen this week, and hopefully next year we will be at Super Bowl LVII
And LV?
in Las Vegas. But let's stick to the here and now. God, it was madness on Monday night, Gilbert. It was opening night. So for some of the folks that didn't remember, because obviously COVID knocked this all out, now clowns were still allowed at this event, but it wasn't on Zoom. Because sometimes I would hear some of the questions. I'd be like, why are you guys asking these? But opening night was at Footprint Arena or stadium or whatever it is for the Phoenix. It's where the Phoenix Suns play. And it was humongous. There was a ruckus crowd. Gilbert and Dan actually debated last night who had more fans. Obviously, those two have to debate about everything. But it was interesting to listen to everything. Eagles went first. Then they brought out both teams and their captains. Kelsey's mom, Donna Kelsey,
with the cookies.
Came out with cookies for both of her sons. And then obviously you got to either some of the hard-hitting questions or some of the dumbest questions you'd ever hear. Gilbert, give me one question for right now of what you heard that you either blew your mind, made you laugh, or one of those.
Yeah, Dan and Dale get out the way, but that's Dan and Dale, the producer right there, getting a little antsy. But Fernando, I'll just start with this real quick because I've been I guess it doesn't really count. I've been to 3 Super Bowl, weeks, and this is the first time I went to one where there's media day in person, not in Zoom. And you always hear the stories. You get some dumb questions, you get some chaos, you get some madness, you kind of get some eye rolls, you get a little bit of everything. But Fernando, you asked me, right? What is the dumbest question?
By the way. Here, yes, there is such a thing as a stupid question. You know how the teachers tell you there's no such thing as a stupid question. Nah, hell no. Here there is.
Okay, we have plenty to discuss for dumbest questions at Super Bowl 57 Media Day. But at the top, because it's such a simple question, and like you mentioned, there are no dumb questions in most scenarios. This one, let me set the scene. You are at the Super Bowl. You got to win this freaking game. You spend all your life trying to get to this freaking, I'm gonna say other words, biggest game on the planet. I don't care. There's soccer to whatever. Fernando, this is the biggest game on the planet. But so you got that right. You got to win this game, right?
Yeah.
So I heard this multiple times. I think they were following me for the clown show. They asked Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, is this a must-win game? What are we doing here if it's not a must-win game? Like, this got to be the top of the. Actually, you might have a good one, but that's up there for the dumbest questions. Super 57. Is this a must-win game? Yeah. And a lot of guys just took it and said, we're here playing, for the trophy. And some guys were like, quick answer, of course it is. So, Fernando, I don't know what you thought about that one, but that for some reason kept following me around. And I kept doing the arrow.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to stick with Sirianni on this one as well. A guy comes up, and sometimes you're going to get these questions asked. He was asked, which one of and I've heard of this before, and I've heard guys answer it, and some guys do a good job. Which of these players would you allow to date your daughter? Nick Sirianni looks at him and goes, my daughter's 5 years old. Dude, do some research. And I feel, honestly, Gilbert, there's times where, and Dan and Dago, you and Vic, the producer, got a head start. Dan and Dago and I walked in after. And Dan hears somebody ask something or say something, and he looks at me, and I'm like, oh no, the stupidity will continue. And it gets even worse. And we keep on going, and he starts hearing stuff. He starts listening to stuff. And he couldn't believe some of the dumb stuff that was happening.
What did Nick Sirianni on?
Yeah.
Did he look annoyed?
You can't.
You gotta punch the guy or something.
He did look annoyed. But it's like, dude, do your research. 1, 2. He's a 38-year-old coach, a 39-year-old coach. obviously the dude is gonna have young kids. Like, I don't know. Just do your research on these guys before you go. I feel, and that's the problem. And that's what I told you on Zoom. When we were on Zoom covering the Chargers, covering all that stuff, what did I tell you? I feel like people raise their hands on Zoom just because they're like, oh, I need to ask something. Be like Fernando. Fernando sometimes doesn't even ask a single question. Why? There's no need to. All the questions have been asked. If you listen and use critical thinking, you'll get to where you want to be. But damn, some of these people, I just couldn't believe it.
Shout out Uncle Joe. He's somewhere here in the back.
Uncle Joe.
But yeah, Fernando, you can't really match it, man. Like that's probably the dumbest question. But there was the dumbest scenario. There was somebody asking people to play pin the donkey. Yeah. And I was at the Juju Smith-Schuster booth, and I was like lined up first there. By the way, somebody was trying to take my spot. I was there early for the Juju, booth scenario, and I'm like, okay, is my seat right here or whatever standing section? Some guy said, hey, can I have that? I'm like, no, there's space right next to me. I don't know what's going on. People just want to just stir the pot.
Yeah.
And the first question that Juju got when he got there was like, okay, Juju, can you pin the donkey here? But you got to close your eyes. And we're just here for like 3 minutes trying to figure out where you're going to pin it. I'm like, get this thing on the show, get it going. And then eventually, he gets it right. And then eventually the lady got to show the pin the donkey. Nobody saw it. Like, what's going on here? So I don't know, just chaos. I saw some guy in a wheelbarrow, whatever, or like the little barrel thing.
That guy was pretty funny to look at. My other one was, and folks, I understand. Like, I feel like sometimes people come with an agenda. Like, they're like, oh, I'm going to ask the stupidest question and it's going to go viral. People think it's going to be funny. No, it's stuck on stupid. Some guy comes up to Jalen Hurts and he says, he goes, hey, Jalen, I doubted that you could ever take this team to a Super Bowl. And I was wrong. He's like, yeah, you and many others. And he could have left it there. We could have looked all right. But what does he do? He doubles down. Man to man, I just want to let you know that I want to ask for your forgiveness. And he goes, cool. Like, I think that has to take jackass of the day. Like, it just.
Do you think this guy's just sitting around late night like, man, I got that one wrong. I said the Eagles weren't going to make the Super Bowl. I got to get to Phoenix and apologize face to face like a man. Jalen, I was wrong.
We saw an individual who every Zoom interview, he tried to outdo himself the next time and the next time and the next time. And it was just people just don't. They have no sense of what's up, what's down, and that's just what happens here. And people just try and be funny, and you're just not funny. You look like an ass.
But it was a circus, clown show out there. But for the most part, it was good to see everybody in the scenario, going around, from Chiefs to Eagles. Seeing Andy Reid kind of shake everybody's hands on the Eagles side. I know it's been a long time he was coaching the Eagles. So I'm sure there's probably no players from his regime, right?
No, there is.
Is there one?
Jason Kelsey, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Jason Kelsey. Yeah.
So there you go. And that was cool to see Andy Reid saying hi. And then, somebody
asked Fletcher Cox, oh, what was it like to see Andy Reid? I didn't play. He was drafted by, I think Chip Kelly.
Speaking of research, there you go.
Yeah.
But, two of the most laid-back coaches in the NFL, Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid, it was cool to see them kind of get together.
By the way, one quick one. Darius Slay. My God. Darius Slay was asked, do you know where Kansas City is? Yes, in Kansas. That's like, when was the War of 1812? So, like, come on, dude.
This is the opposite. People want to ask dumb questions. Now this person wants to make somebody look like a fool, and they got it. So, but
exactly.
Whatever, geography, who cares?
Yeah. No, I feel you. But Gilbert, it's time now for Compas on the LA beat. Jalen and Derwin, they're stirring the pot a little bit. A lot of people were like, oh my God, Jalen and Derwin were together all during the Pro Bowl. Hey, guess what? Jalen and Derwin are represented by the same agent. Hey, guess what? Derwin and Jalen went to Florida State together. Hey, guess what? Jalen and Derwin are like big brother and little brother. So what did you make of it?
Yeah, one thing if you want to, reach for a narrative there, a lot of people said no to the Pro Bowl. And, I guess Jalen was like a third alternate or whatever, second alternate. For him to say, knowing that Derwin was going,
Derwin placed a call and he's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, like
Let's go do that.
even like a guy like Derwin, like I know it's flag football, but like you rather be healthy and like why are you going?
By the
kind of
way,
thing.
Jalen knocking Tyreek Hill
Oh yeah,
out of bounds. That was pretty.
But that was the best
was
part
pretty
of
funny.
whatever the heck was going on at the Pro Bowl.
Remember, Dan and Dago and I got in at 3:30 to Phoenix, and I saw an alert saying, "Oh, watch this highlight." And I'm like, "The Pro Bowl games are still going on?"
Well, it's like when you're playing like Super Mario
Yeah.
Party. What
And
is
you
it? Mario
lose-
Party?
Yeah, and
There's
you
a
lose
bunch
track
of
of time.
there's a bunch of mini games. You're playing whatever, and it's like it's 4 hours later, and here we are.
Yeah.
And you're just hanging out with your boys. So I think that's all it was. I was surprised that all the top AFC wide receivers were there, like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, what, Jamar Chase. But the quarterbacks, man, it was pretty atrocious. But we're kind of getting on a sidetrack there. Maybe it's a little something there that they ensured that they wanted to play together at the Pro Bowl. It could be a bad thing or a good thing. One thing is like, hey, when are we going to be on the same field together? Because remember when the Rams played the Chargers, Derwin got hurt. That didn't occur. So hey, let's make it happen here at the Pro Bowl. Or two, hey, let's kind of stir the pot. We want to play together, and that's all Jalen Ramsey talks about. And as we mentioned in House of Horns, Compas on the LAB to be exact. The Rams have a decision to make, and it might involve Jalen Ramsey, being traded. You get some capital back. You get under the salary cap a little bit. But then on the flip side, as you know, Fernando, you being the expert, the Chargers have their own issues with the cap, and we can maybe transition if you want.
Yeah, no, real quick though. The only way I could see that happening is if like they cut Jalen and Jalen decides to take a minimum deal, approve a deal with the Chargers. But I don't see Jalen do it. I think Jalen's still at the top of this game. I think Jalen can still play, and I'd be surprised if Jalen took a league minimum just to play with Derwin for 1 year. But yeah, no, you're right. So obviously, the Chargers have their own cap issues. There's been a lot made in the last few weeks. Is Keenan Allen going to get cut? Is Khalil Mack going to get cut? Is what's going on? And it's incredible. The season just ended 3 weeks ago for them, and now fans have already quickly transitioned to starting to cut players. So the media has become, hey, let's start cutting players. Well, some. And now you're kind of like, okay, what's going to happen now? Gilbert, do you think either Khalil Mack or Keenan Allen get cut?
I wouldn't be surprised. You save some money. I think that the bigger question, like if you have to pick one or the other, I don't know about both. And also keep in mind too, like somebody gets cut, they always come back, or you restructure the deal. There's things you got to do. But I guess maybe I ask you, Fernando, because both of these guys are, guys maybe in the back end of their prime, maybe already left their prime. They're older, Keenan in year 11. But a younger wide receiver, I know you're going to say that. Khalil Mack was kind of a so-so year with the Chargers. I know he made the Pro Bowl, but it was kind of a what could have been if Joey Bosa was around. But you got to make some moves, and you're hurting. And, by the way, you got to pay Justin Herbert. Yeah. So there are some issues. I wouldn't be surprised if you're asking me, maybe it's Keenan Allen. Maybe it's a little easier to get a wide receiver in the draft because if you can pair up Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and, hey, they stay healthy, pass rush is big in the NFL. And I get it'll be Mike Williams and Josh Palmer. You got to find what you can in the draft. But if they're going to go somewhere, it might be Keenan. But also, too, you never know. Maybe you structure the deal. There's a lot of people who are much more cap savvy than I am. But it could be a tough decision
Some
to come.
pretend to be cap savvy.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I'm not those experts. But I just search over the cap and I do what I can.
To me, I was talking about this with Uncle Joe before we jumped on. To me, I feel like it's going to be – so Keenan knows the Chargers 2 years. 1 year he tore his ACL, so let's take away. So 10 years.
Yeah.
Then he had the season where he had his kidney. So he knocked off half of the season. Last year he didn't play half of the season, so that's 2 years. So Keenan Allen's an 8-year, going into his 9th year.
It's a funny way to count seasons.
No,
okay.
But I'm just kidding. I don't think they want to lose Keenan, and I think this year, just my opinion, I don't think this draft is that strong when it comes to receivers. I think it's a tight end pass rusher draft. And obviously those guys need and offensive linemen, obviously. But offensive line, I feel like every year is pretty strong. The guys in the trenches, Dan Dago would be proud of that. The guys in the trenches. But if you look at it, they need pass rush. They need a receiver. They need tight end. But I feel like they're going to try and keep Keenan. They probably add on an extra year to his contract, maybe restructure it some way. I think Khalil Mack gets restructured. And they're going to try and do Tom Telesco. I mean, for some of his negatives, some of his positives, the one thing he is good at is the books. And I'm sure he will be able to get under the cap without having to cut anybody because I know
So
they
nobody.
don't want to.
I was going to ask you if you had to pick one.
No, I don't think though. You can't lose Keenan. Keenan in 11 games.
But you sound like you're leaning more. You got to keep Keenan, whatever you can to do. Khalil Mack's more like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to go with one, but the thing is that Brandon's boy is Khalil, so that's where it kind of sticks with me.
He's not the GM though.
I know. Well, I mean, but there, who wins?
Yeah.
Is it Brandon or is it Tom? So that'd be interesting because Keenan was Tom's first draft. He's the only one that stuck around from the last. Uncle Joe, it's been 4 or 5 drafts. I think he's the only one left from the last 4 or 5 drafts.
So you want to make an opinion real quick?
We got Uncle Joe.
Hello, friends. I mean, if we're talking lower round draft picks,
yeah,
I think he's the lowest one still standing.
Yep.
That we're talking about beyond 5 years.
Yeah,
because I mean, you and I have talked.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Keenan gets cut? Absolutely. Do I see it happening? No, not this year, but next year. Because how many years can you keep 2 wide receivers with an average salary per year of $20 million?
Especially when your quarterback's owed
yes,
a whole hell of a lot of money.
And I think a Herbert extension does get done this year. Matt Filer, to me, is still number 1 on the cutting block.
Do you think if Justin does not get his contract done by training camp, do you think he'll pull a Jalen Ramsey and show up in a Brinks truck and open the back of it and come out and be like, hey, message sent?
Or let's put it this way. Let's put it this way, gentlemen. There's better odds of Rihanna coming out during the halftime show and saying, in honor of Justin Herbert, I'm playing Bitch Better Have My Money.
Wow. Did you have that one ready, Joe? That was pretty good.
Than Justin Herbert showing up in a Brinks truck.
Oh, that was amazing.
Good one-liner.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that to me, I think Herbert realizes too that there's being on a rookie deal. The longer you can do it, because no matter what gets done this year, his salary number is going to stay the same.
Yep.
Because it'll be the contract kicking in next year, and in future years.
Yeah,
that'll be the interesting thing. Keenan, possibly you add a year to that deal to move that money for this year. Khalil, a year or two, I can see that money being moved around.
But they need more pass rush. They need a tight end, and they need a receiver to train. I don't know if Joshua Palmer is that. I mean, we don't know. He's shown glimpses, flashes, but the consistency is really where Josh still hasn't shown it yet.
They need a second running back too.
Oh well, that one we already know.
But I mean, you brought in the perfect offensive coordinator if you're talking about marrying the run and the pass.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, even before Pollard was with Dallas, they still did a good job with 2 running backs when it was Zeke and somebody else. So
you if he gets cut, there's no way.
I can't see it.
Okay.
Not with their cap problems.
Yeah, no. Okay. Because he's still going to want to get paid,
Right.
even though.
And I think the other thing that people forget, too, is that they've not only got a 5th-year option on one person to figure out this offseason, but 2.
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray.
Yeah. You know, does Kenneth Murray deserve the 5th-year option? I'm on the fence on that one. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. You know what's funny? I spoke to Kaiser White last night at media day, and he told me Kenneth Murray's going to show his stuff this year. He's like, that kid has talent. He's like, he works hard. He comes from a great family. He really is. He's like, he's busting his ass every single day, and I know it. He's like, you guys are going to see it this upcoming year. So I mean, who knows? Maybe Kazier's a future scout if Kenneth really does come out and have a career year.
Well, I will say this about free agency too, and in terms of Tom re-signing his own. If they don't re-sign either Pipkins or Tranquil, guy ain't re-signing anybody below a first rounder in future years. I mean, those two played to at least a 1 or 2 year extension.
Yeah.
And if you talk about developing your own
and then paying and growing them and then paying them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, without Drew, you have nothing behind Drew. Like it'd literally be Kenneth Murray out there, and you don't really have anything behind him. So there goes the dangerous parts. But Uncle Joe, we want to have you back for a full breakdown of the Chargers. Hopefully, we can get you later in during the off season. Break it all
when
down.
I'm not catching a flight somewhere, or
Uncle Joe. Uncle
50
Joe's gonna be. He's going to be the reason why LeBron breaks the record, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record tonight. He's like, Uncle Joe's coming. I got to put on a performance.
No, I think LeBron wants to break the record because he's still pissed off that they don't have Kyrie. And it's like, screw it. I'm scoring 45 to 50 tonight.
How many Kyrie questions do you think he gets even if he scores, even if he breaks the record tonight?
I don't think he gets them tonight. I think he answered them yesterday on ESPN with Wilbon and stuff. But when LeBron's pissed off and motivated,
yeah,
I mean, I think he's going to either do it tonight. He's either going to do it Tuesday or Thursday. So we'll see.
Well, we appreciate you, Chief.
Thank you, boss. Hopefully you guys get the Marley's or Pizzeria Blanco while you are here. Also remember, gentlemen, you're in a city that has legalized gambling for so the ballpark's a block or two where you can hit the sports books. So
But if you're a player, Joe, you can't bet, no incentives, you can't get coffee, stuff like that.
Yes. So
remember, Joey told us that. No incentives. That's gambling.
That's a bet camp. That would be bad.
Thank you, Joe.
That was Uncle Joe Reedy. Obviously, you guys know him. You guys love him. We appreciate him for jumping on. Gilbert, now it's time for Compas on the NFL. Bubba Beats.
Boom, boom, boom.
Gilbert, what was your biggest takeaway from the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, sometimes these weeks kind of felt pretty long. We record a show and then a lot of news happens, but we haven't even got to the Sean Payton news. Going to the Broncos. He's supposed to be out here for Fox, but I guess that wasn't the case. Maybe Uncle Joe saw him. I don't know. But Sean Payton is now the head coach of the Broncos, and that is, one of my biggest takeaways, because I was a little surprised about it, Fernando. I don't know about you, but it kind of felt like Sean Payton was waiting for other jobs. Let's say maybe a Chargers job. Let's say maybe a Cowboys job. I don't know. One with, an established quarterback. And the funny thing, the one that sort of has a quarterback, or at least paid like a franchise, the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, they don't have a coach. So that's something we could debate about. But Russell Wilson, Sean Payton decided to go with Russell Wilson. He might have fired the Team 3 coaching staff, personal trainers there. But they got a lot of work to do with Sean Payton. So I wonder how the whole, picking players with the GM there is George Patton, right?
Yeah.
And Sean Payton, how that's going to work? Because I felt like Sean Payton wanted like a full power there, and that's what he went with, though.
And the craziest part is the owner said the head coach is going to talk to me. He's going to talk directly to me, not to the GM. So that was a little interesting. But I think that's how the Chiefs did everything. Andy Reid is with the Hunt family. He does not report to the general manager. Yeah. So maybe that's a winning formula.
But sometimes it could be like, hey, let's try it out 1 year. And then Sean Payton, it's your show. We saw that happen with the Raiders and John Gruden. Things happen. We'll see. But that was surprising to me. And then a lot of coordinators move. Brian Flores going to the Vikings to be the defensive coordinator there. Head coach again, Frank Wright, to the Panthers. He had to wait a little while to get a new job, but former coach now with the Panthers. And we also got.
Where did Flores go?
Brian Flores went to Minnesota. I didn't know if we could do the job here in person. But by the way, Fernando, it's a little strange just looking at you and your eyes right here. We're next to each other in person. Usually it's on the computer, and it's not as awkward. But I try to look at you every now and then. You have a nice smile.
I appreciate it.
But that's okay to talk about here. We're I'm gonna end the awkward transition. But Frank Wright landed a big time DC and Evero. That he was a DC for the Broncos, and a lot of things went wrong for the Broncos besides the defense. And Evero has a big credit there. And there's 2 jobs still left for head coach. The Colts who want to have a very long search. Maybe at one point, Pat McAfee will get interviewed for the head coaching job there. And the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, who nobody wants to coach right now. So that is coaching news here on Compas on the Beat.
And then Steve Wilkes going to the 49ers.
That's a big get, too. Actually,
DC.
Good point there.
Man, he deserved that the Carolina job. And the thing I would have done is I would have brought in my leaders of my Carolina Panthers. I would have talked to my leaders, my captain, and said, how good is he? Can he lead you guys? That's the thing. I understand. You don't want to just base your sole decision on letting players do it, because then you'd have idiots like you'd have idiots that would decide the coaching and they just want something easy. But I feel like the Carolina Panthers have good leadership in there, and they know that Steve Wilkes was a good guy. Now he goes to the 49ers, and I hope he's the next elevation that Kyle Shanahan sends into head coaching, the way that D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh have now been elevated to head coaches.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to guess, Fernando, who gets that job? I don't know, man.
Cardinals, the Colts job? The Colts, I'll say Shane Steichen, I think, is going to end up getting. They've waited this long. Yeah. And Jim Irsay, friend of the show, Jim Irsay tweeted it out. He said, hey, it's going to take hours, not days. So I'm going to guess that one. Oh, no, it's going to take days, not hours.
Okay.
Days tells me days, Super Bowl, after Super Bowl, they announce it.
Well, it's better than weeks, because it's been a month-long search there for Jim Irsay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing, we're here in Phoenix, and they don't, for the Super Bowl, they don't have a head coach here.
No, they don't. But my takeaway was Myles Garrett getting hurt. It was interesting. I mean, you try to make everything safer, and a player got hurt. But obviously, it's not a bad injury. He should be fine. But still an injury nonetheless. Gilbert, for the second time, it has become now a yearly tradition. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Announced his retirement.
Wait, what is it one more time?
Last week. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
Two middle names?
Yeah.
Is he Mexican?
No, I know. That's literally what happens.
That's a long
there.
name for TB12.
Will he stay retired? And how surprised were you that he made the announcement so quickly? And losing to the Cowboys damage his legacy at all?
Fernando, I don't want to say that I could read Tom Brady, because on this show here, this program, Compas on the Beat, we're trying to guess where he's going to go. And after I saw his end of the season press conference with the Tampa Bay media, I said, you know what? He sounds like he might retire. And I said, you know what? Yeah. Either Bucks or retirement, and somehow I got it right. I was a little surprised, though. He might have, all the 49ers smoke.
No cantes victoria todavía.
Yeah, I know. But there was a lot of smoke coming out with the 49ers there. But you know what? I'm going to say he stays retired, to do that video. And he kept saying, like, you know what? I've used my big, long speech last year. You only get one speech. So I think he feels kind of like, okay, this is kind of dumb now, doing 2 retirements. There can be a third. And I get it. If there's one player who could do multiple retirements and maybe even 3, it's him, Tom Brady. And last year he showed me he can still play. He's definitely a top 10 quarterback at age 45, soon to be 46. But after the long year he had with the losing and then the off the field stuff, I think the guy just wants a break. And who knows, maybe, you know how it is in the NFL. You go for the retirement, you get a couple months off, and like, you know what, that quarterback got hurt, call me up. Something like that maybe, but he won't be on a team for training camp.
I know that there's a lot of indicators like, oh, he's not going to take the job at Fox till 2024. There's other stuff. I'll give you the reason why I think he retired. The night before his retirement, he went to go watch his new movie, 80 for Brady, with Rita Moreno.
Is it actually his movie?
Yeah, he's in it. Jane Fonda.
Like he wrote it, produced it, or just paid for it? Production.
He's in it, and I think he had a hand in doing all that. I think he went to go watch that and said, holy crap, I suck at making movies.
I was going to say.
Because that movie just sounds.
It looks terrible.
And it looks dumb.
Even the biggest Patriots fans probably don't want to watch that. Yeah.
So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, hell no. So he must have been like, you know what? That's it, bro. I suck at this. I can't do this.
80 for Brady.
Michael Jordan retired 3 times. He returned a couple of times. Could he do it? Yes. Will he get that? He's going to get that itch. Once May starts, he's going to get that itch. And what do they say in Spanish? And I'm going to say it. I don't care. Chingo a mi madre. If he doesn't get a call from Kyle Shanahan saying, come over here. I need you.
I hope that does not.
Well, no. I mean, that's a saying in Spanish.
Tell somebody else to say it.
No, yeah. Well, but I think he's going to end up getting a call from Kyle Shanahan, and I think he's going to and I think that'll maybe entice him, but I'm with you. He stays retired.
You love tapping, huh, Fernando? I could hear you tapping a lot.
Oh, wait.
But I don't know, because that's a whole different story there, and maybe some 49ers talk. But if Kyle Shanahan is doing that, and it's year 3 of Trey Lance, and you're trying to stop him for one more year, what does that say about Trey Lance? So
that he needs to learn from the GOAT.
It's a tough decision, too, because at one point it's like you got a ready-made roster. You got to get that right.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, just go with our guy, Trey Lance, or like, let him sit one more year. It's going to be tough, but I just don't see it happening. But you might be right, Fernando. I don't know.
Well, who knows? Gilbert, the Brady retirement brings an end to one of the best eras in NFL history when it comes to quarterbacks. We know Tom Brady is the GOAT, but how do the rest of the quarterbacks of his era stack up from 5 to 1? You got Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers.
You want me to go first?
You go first.
You have an idea that mine's a little controversial, especially for our viewers and listeners of
really
Compas on
that
the LAB and What's Up Bolts. But yes, we have for sure Peyton Manning, number 1 of the non-Brady quarterbacks for this era or generation. Just to put some rules on it. I don't want to hear any comments or like, hey, you forgot this guy. You have to be retired and you have to be drafted before 2004. So let's go Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. What did I have? Big Ben, number 3, 4, Eli Manning, 5, Phillip Rivers. Yes, I get it. People are going to get mad about the Phillip Rivers, being last there. But let me give you my criteria. You gotta win. You gotta win in the playoffs. You gotta have a Super Bowl. That's a big part for me. And then you gotta be like a legit quarterback. Stats count second. And I think for me, when you compare Big Ben and Eli, both winners. Rivers not a winner. He did his part. He tried to get there, but we'll get into it. Dan and Dago surprisingly disagrees with me. Maybe we'll hear his takeaway in the second promo. We'll hear it out. But I think Big Ben was a better quarterback than Eli Manning. You could say Eli Manning was maybe a better crunch time quarterback, but overall resume, body of work, I thought Big Ben was better than Eli and Phillip Rivers. Obviously, Brees and Manning on their own little level there, whatever it is. But for me, I liked Rivers. He was a good quarterback. He was exciting, but he just made a lot of killer plays, interceptions, and I know it's a team game, but sometimes throw the ball away, sometimes take a sack. And I know he beat Peyton Manning in the playoffs. Some people forgot about that. Remember that, Fernando?
Yeah.
Different podcast. But I don't know. I respect the torn ACL, get into the AFC Championship game, but never made a Super Bowl. And sometimes when you have a team and you're in the playoffs, you got to put that team on your back. We didn't really see it as often.
I'm going to go Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and then Big Ben. Big Ben to me had the two Super Bowls that he went to. Well, the first one, he had an abysmal game. Antoine Randall threw the ball better than he did for that one touchdown. So there, I'm already discrediting him. I don't know if who was the receiver that caught that touchdown pass? Antonio Holmes. I don't think he ever got 2 feet in, to be honest. I've never seen the replay where it shows me the 2 feet down. I've been asked to be shown it. I've never gotten it. So no, but to be honest, I've never thought Big Ben was that good. When he was really good, that team was kind of bad. They didn't go to any Super Bowls. They didn't win any Super Bowls. When he was the focal point of that team, when they had the defense and the running game, their team was elite and they had a good system. But when it was time for Big Ben to put the team on his back, I didn't think he was all that.
Well, let me ask you why do you think Eli is better than Rivers and Big Ben? I just got to know the Eli one.
Because Eli was clutch.
But Rivers wasn't.
Eli went at 9-7 and ended up going. Well,
okay.
The Phillip thing, there's a mega crutch that I know and I've seen and I've experienced that I'm not going to get into, but he deserves a little bit more love because of some of the things that he had to go. You have to look at it. The Chargers are nowhere near what the Giants and the Steelers are. Those teams go for Super Bowls. Those teams go for it all. Those teams are willing to squeeze out the last penny that they have to go get talent. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I think Eli was clutch. And then Eli, what he did to knock off the undefeated Patriots, and then not just that, but most of the time that he won the Super Bowl, he was the 6th seed. That means going on the road. And unfortunately for Eli, I think they could have won the Super Bowl in 2016 as well if Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't get on a boat and go down to Miami and hang out and take all the receivers with him. I thought they could have even had a good team then, but obviously Odell put a cloud over the team. But I just thought Eli was really clutch. I think Eli was really clutch. I just really believe that he was something unique, and for a guy, that David Tyree throw and the Mario Manningham throw, 2 Super Bowls, 2 huge highlight plays. I mean, I really can't put anything above that.
You know what? I won't disagree too much with the Eli stuff because I love watching them in those 2 playoff runs, and when it matters the
I
most.
think those are the only 2 games those 2 runs were the only 2 years that people liked watching.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything else, interception machine, terrible years. So I know where you're coming from.
That's why I like those 2 playoff runs, but like when you're Big Ben and you get to the playoffs every single year, you are a part of that. You're trying to discredit everything he did. I know the defense, coaches, organization matters, but he has a part in that. And I think for that means a lot to get to the playoffs every single year. With Rivers, he started off hot with 4 good teams, and he didn't use that window. We talk about the window all the time. He didn't capitalize in his window. And then after that, rarely made the playoffs. He deserves some blame for that. That's all I got to say.
No, he deserves some blame, but then at the same time, who the hell goes out and gets Norval Turner to be the head coach of the team? Like, get the hell out of here. Like, that was a bad decision, especially with some of the names that you interviewed for that position. So, I mean, that's the thing. There's some other things there, but I understand where you're coming from. But I just thought if you would have put Phillip in either other situation, I bet you he wins a couple of Super Bowls and he's able to do something, because Phillip actually was a good quarterback. I think when we talk about quarterback, take away the rings, take away everything. When it comes to quarterback,
sure,
I don't think either Big Ben nor Eli were better than him. I think he studied and worked his tail off, while Big Ben liked to party. Eli, not so much. Eli probably did put the work in, but the last name kind of helps there.
Yeah, just to kind of put a capper here. Look at this. We had a nice debate here, healthy, nobody shouting. You want to have a good –
no flipping of the table.
There you go. Good podcast. Come to Compas on the Beat.
Flipping on the tables on Friday when a certain individual stops by. We're breaking tables. We're ending. That's how we're ending the show.
Yeah, we should do a little hint of who we're gonna have on throughout the week.
I mean, let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. That would be an interesting interview. No, but yeah, there's little hints that we could draw.
Why not?
Shout out. You already know that's one. And wrestling, I mean, that's the only other hint I can drop. And turn out the lights on, lights off, lights out. What?
If people know us, you know that we like combat sports, we're gonna make that happen. But obviously, a lot of football, a lot of good interviews, good content here. But we got to have our weekly podcast, and we're doing it right now.
Exactly.
We'll give you guys a rest later.
Gilbert, with Tom Brady retiring, which player will be the first quarterback domino to get the offseason rolling?
Yeah, and I feel like it's always a quarterback that gets it going, right? The madness. Like remember a couple of years ago, it was like around this time too when Stafford got traded from the Lions to the Rams, and also Alex Smith
with a shady Cabo trip.
Oh yeah, with Sean McVay and those guys.
They happen to be a couple of bungalows away.
Why they left Jared Goff behind. But usually it's like a quarterback trade when it really gets to go. When you know the quarterback trade, it's going to be massive.
Do you think Jared was in Cancun and they were in Cabo and he's like, hey, you guys said we were going to – you said we were going to Cabo or
he
to
went
Cancun.
To the wrong place, to Tulum or something. You know? Yeah. But Jared Goff is doing well. I just more of the story is sometimes it takes a while to kind of go your way, and Jared Goff had a good season.
And that's for life as well, not just the NFL.
That's what we talk about here on Compas on the Beat. But I'm going to go with Victor Producer's boy. I think Derek Carr and the Raiders are going to make it happen. It's like the Kyrie Irving trade with the Nets. Like, you want out of here? Just get the boys. Get out of here, man. Like, we're tired of you anyways. You were here, what, Vic, 9-10 years? You can shout it if you want. I forgot already. I think it's like 9 years, right? Give me a thumbs up. So Derek Carr, 9 years. So, and then the Pro Bowl thing with Derek Carr and Vic, it was a little awkward. It's kind of like, it kind of felt like he was like, I didn't want to leave. It's on them. So we don't know the storyline. Yeah. But the whole no trade clause could have held it up. But I have a feeling it's like, you know what? We just don't like each other. Let's make it happen. I don't know where he'll go. Maybe Houston, maybe the Saints. I don't know. But I bet he's the first one. It's going to come out of nowhere, too. Watch.
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. Easy as said. What's going to happen? I think a lot of the team thinks that he quit on them.
Ooh.
That's the notion that I got from the end of the season press conferences. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him, but I think he will be the first domino that does it. And remember, Derek Carr did not wear any symbols of the Las Vegas Raiders on his Pro Bowl gear.
Interesting. Didn't
So
the
that was,
Raiders Twitter tweet out some stuff? Maybe I'm off there. I don't know.
I don't know, but it was interesting. Gilbert, who are your 3 free agents to watch besides Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, how about we decided who goes, who stays? How about that?
Yeah,
Is that what we're doing, right?
Who goes,
Yeah,
who stays?
Okay. I'm going first then.
You want me to give you the names and you tell me?
Yeah, go ahead. You got my list.
Okay. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley.
I really think Saquon wants to stay. I think Brian Dable likes Saquon. The only issue is the money. You don't pay a running back, especially because he already got his money. And if he's like honest with himself, and I feel like a lot of just to give you a little promo, you talked to Melvin Gordon, and he had one of those blunder running back contract holdouts. Le'Veon Bell comes to mind. And I think at this point, running backs already know where they stand, and it's unfortunate too because it's such a just a wear and tear position. And they mean so much to a team, and you would think they'll get paid better, but I think they've come to the point like, you know what, this is what we get. And I think Saquon knows that. I think he has a lot of star power in New York. You get endorsements, and then the system is catered to you. So you know what, I'm gonna go Saquon stays.
The big tight end from Dallas, he played well down the stretch. Dalton Schultz had a couple of big games for the Cowboys. ¿Se queda o se va?
I'm gonna keep this one short, and maybe I'll excite Dan and Dago here. Kellen Moore's on the move. They need a tight end. He goes. Why not? I won't even say the team, but you already know what I'm talking about.
Is he taking a pay cut?
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
All right. Geno Smith, the revival. Geno Smith.
Geno's been on a lot of these podcasts, lately, and he keeps talking about like, hey, it's a good sign. We're doing okay. I think we're gonna meet her in the middle. And then like we've talked about it too, Fernando.
What the hell's the middle?
I don't know, but we've talked about it too. Like when you have a quarterback who's been pretty good and is not costing you too much. Like remember read the whole Lions debate with Goff. You got so many picks. Do you just keep building it instead of going for a quarterback? I think the Seahawks want to keep building it because they hit on so many picks last year. I think Geno stays.
Yeah. All right, that's a good one. Now for my list, Gilbert, if you would do me the honors.
I got you. We started my list with New York Giants skill player, so I'm gonna go for you, quarterback Daniel Jones, also known as Danny Dimes.
Formerly known as Danny Pennies. So definitely
he upgraded, yeah.
Yeah, he upgraded. I'll say he stays. I think he did well. He matured under Brian Dable. I think Brian Dable is like, you know what? This is gonna be my pet project. If I can fix Danny Jones, then Danny Dimes, then I'm gonna look like a genius. 1, 2. I think Daniel Jones signs for less money than we all think, which is gonna help. And he'll say, I did it so that we can bring back Saquon. So you're trying to get
my question to you, Fernando, is like, do they want him back?
I think so. Okay. I think Brian Dable's going to want him back. The only thing is, get the guy some weapons.
There goes Garrett Wilson. Speaking of
yeah,
weapons.
there you go. Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
That's what you see at Radio Row.
Exactly. So definitely, he has a big entourage with him. Oh my God, this is. I'm not saying this is Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Garrett Wilson soon, by the way.
Yeah, we are. You know what? We should have just skipped to that section. Hey, Garrett,
do you think you're deserving?
Yeah, exactly. So I say they want him. I say he wants to stay. They just need to get him better weapons, get Kenny Golladay out of there, get some better weapons for him.
Okay, this player means a lot to Vic, the producer. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. Does he stay or he goes?
He leaves.
Oh, that was quick. Okay.
I think the Raiders are going to try and do something different, and I think they end up saving the money. They need to build on that defense. They need to help that defense, and I think they're going to spend most of their money on that defense.
Okay, there we go. You got one stay, one go, and the third one, who's playing in the Super Bowl, actually. Yep. Tackle Orlando Brown for the Kansas City Chiefs. Stays or goes?
I just need to keep Dan and Dago happy. Another guy in the trenches. I got him. Orlando Brown's a huge part of this offense, but I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs have enough money to keep him. I say he goes, and I think he signs the biggest deal for a left tackle with the Chicago Bears.
Didn't the Chiefs trade a first-round pick for him?
They did.
Wow. Okay. And real quick from the Joe Reedy, interview where he kind of just jumped in.
Yeah. You tagged him in. It was a tag team.
Tag team there. I've been gone for so long on the Chargers beat that now we're talking about Trey Pipkins getting a second contract. I won't do the pounding here.
You're not. Yeah.
But yeah, that's how far we've come there.
I know exactly. There you go. Gilbert, let's pick. NFL awards are coming up. Let's pick our
NFL
own
honors.
awards. Yep, NFL honors. We'll pick our own. Whatever music. The MVP award goes to.
Patrick Mahomes. Does he have a middle name? I forget.
I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe
Patrick
he
Mahomes.
does.
Chiefs. Easy.
Same thing. Patrick Mahomes. He had a great season. He grew a lot as a quarterback. Didn't have Tyreek Hill, yet he still put up video game like numbers. And by the way, Gilbert, I think in the last 30 years, the quarterback that wins the MVP does not win the Super Bowl.
I was about to say, you finally say something nice about Patrick Mahomes, and now you're going most likely going to lose the Super Bowl. Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Speaking of the Chiefs, a lot of talk for Chris Jones, but I'm still stick with Nick Bosa of the 49ers because technically the awards for the regular season, and I think those guys were neck and neck. And Chris Jones went to another level in the playoffs, but it was in the playoffs. So give me Nick Bosa.
And like you said, and Jones had not had a sack in the playoffs ever. And I think he had 3 or 4 or 5. I can't remember how many. But I'm with you. Nick Bosa had a great season. He was a beast. He really is a game changer for the 49ers, and he deserves the Defensive Player of the Year. Gilbert, first one we do not agree on, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, another participant of the Super Bowl here in Phoenix. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni, who received the dumbest question here at Media Night.
Two dumb questions.
Yeah, two whatever questions. You could go worse.
That's because he has that dog mentality.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually. Nick Sirianni, who I just really like the Sirianni story. Check out the Omar Ruiz interview I did. I don't know why I was holding the mic when Ruiz is the expert, but I tried my best. Check it out on Compas on the Beat. And I just like that Sirianni had maybe the most awkward, nerve-wracking introduction press conference for a head coach, but somehow the players loved it. Like he was being himself. He wasn't being fake. Sometimes you get a little nervous, but when it's time to work, and get in crunch time, change the skills, play calling, doing what's best for the team. Shane Steichen getting the play calls. Nick Sirianni was my pick.
One of the Giants players came out and said, Nick Sirianni has the easiest ride ever. Anybody can coach that team. A lot of the Eagles players did not like that comment. So definitely they've been sticking up for their head coach the last few days, which is good to see. I'm going to go with Doug Peterson. We all know the debacle that was Urban Meyer's only season in the NFL. He didn't even last the whole season. I think it was like half a season or a little bit over a half a season. We know what happened at the Chop House. We know everything that happened with him kicking Josh Lambo, saying this is how you make your kicks. So definitely pretty interesting. But then you go to Doug Peterson, they make the playoffs. They win a big game against the Chargers. They take it to the Chiefs. And Trevor Lawrence matures and grows as a quarterback. There's nothing else you could ask for. I think the sky's the limit with Dougie P.
Fernando, real quick, you made your brother's heart hurt right now. When you mentioned the playoff loss to Chargers, he just went like it still hurts. I don't know if you ever saw the Simpsons episode where Milhouse gets his heart broken from Lisa. Like, that was your brother right now. Sorry, Dan. We'll see him in the promo soon. And real quick, maybe you might talk to the person who's the boss of Doug Peterson. We'll figure that out.
That'll be interesting. Comeback Player of the Year.
I always think through the words are kind of weird. Is it injury? Is it like from sucking? I don't know what it is. So I'm going from sucking. Geno Smith was pretty terrible, and somehow he revived his career. And you know how Jalen Hurts got that dumb question from man to man, Geno Smith. I am sorry. I did not see you coming here throwing 4,000 passing yards and leading the Seahawks to the playoffs. I thought the NFC was going to go through the Rams. Oh, yeah, come on. You can blame me that. We need like a boo, sound here.
I know. I'm going to get some new sounds.
Geno Smith, shout out to you. Great season. Comeback Player of the Year.
Funny thing, in 2013, Phillip Rivers won the award, and some Charger fans were happy, and they asked him, Dan, are you not happy? He's like, no, because that means he went from suck to still suck, but hey, you did better than last year. So I just started laughing.
Award, is it from being
exactly,
terrible or
exactly,
hurt? I don't know.
Exactly. So Dan doesn't like that award, but I'm going to give it to somebody who was injured and came back and did better. Saquon Barkley, you deserve the Comeback Player of the Year. You put up over 1,000 yards. You look like an elite back again. Definitely excited to see that.
Surprised me.
Exactly. Another one we're going to differ. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, my good. Thank God Garrett Wilson left. He might have punched me in the face.
He might make you run a route and cover him. But
I can do it.
Okay. All right. You won't fall or anything?
Nope.
Okay. That'd be nice. If we get on the show,
I would do it.
We would do it. Hey,
I would
can
do
you
it.
run a route against
He ain't
press
getting
man
off.
coverage here?
He's not getting off the line.
See, are
I'll
you a
tackle
press
him
guy?
to-
Or
yeah,
you kind of
press.
Okay.
Press.
All
Oh,
right.
press.
All right. Not the Raheem Morris defense. Okay.
Yeah, no. No. I can't play off ball.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll burn me.
My pick, obviously, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the New York Jets, and he was actually killing it with Mike White. Unfortunately, Zach Wilson, right? I don't forget the guy's name.
The Manhattan Milf Hunter.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I want to call him. His numbers dipped a little bit, but overall, I mean, you can see the route running, the explosiveness, the good hands, the size. Garrett Wilson, for sure, offensive rookie of the year for me.
You had Joe Flacco, you had Mike White, and you had the Manhattan Milf Hunter. No matter what quarterback you threw in there, that kid was killing it. So so that's a good one, Gilbert. But I had a different from you. Brock Purdy came in, and he was the last pick taken in the draft. He had all this adversity. I know he had a good team and a stacked team, but it was, can your rookie quarterback not shoot you in the foot? He did not. He played well. He was able to lead them to a 5-0 victory. They kept a higher seed, and they played well. So I know it was only a couple of games, but I would still give it to Brock Purdy because he played. He had a strong ending of the season. Gilbert, defensive rookie of the year.
Oh yes, another New York Jets. Jets, Jets. Give me cornerback Sauce Gardner, which I forget his first name, his real name, right? Ahmad, right?
Ahmad.
At this point, just change. You're Sauce Gardner, and what a great name.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I think I saw a funny video the other day with him and Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. I think he's gonna be fun to watch for years to come. Maybe a mixture of Richard Sherman / Jalen Ramsey. The kid will be a talker, so that'll be fun to watch him. All right, talking about a guy that Gilbert loves to watch. He's Dan and Dave him now.
Look who it is. You get to see my beautiful face again. The lads went over some awards. To me, those were all participation awards. It's Super Bowl of best every year. Those things don't mean diddly squat to me. You already know. Gilberto going with Mahomes. I hope he does win MVP because that, like my Saint brother Forreal said, guarantees a Super Bowl loss, and I'd love to see the hell get kicked out of him on Sunday. Anyway, do not forget to check out our other programs on your favorite network, Compas on the Beat Network. Do not forget to go check out. We got Compas FC. What? We got House of Horns. What? We got What's Up Bolts. What? We got regular Compas. What? And do not forget, we got that combat Compas. So if you want to beat the hell out of somebody and watch those, or if you love watching people get the hell kicked out of them, make sure you check out Combat Compas over there. And do not forget, comment if you want this merch over here. Got a little waiting list. We're going to set it up when we start dropping these things. Do not forget, be a compa, tell a compa. Let's get back to your program from Arizona.
Thank you, Dan and Dago, for that. Gilbert, it's time for rapid fire. Something or nothing, Gilbert. Josh Jacobs saying that the new Pro Bowl format is stupid.
It's everything. I'm gonna change it. It is stupid.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. That's a big theme of the show, right? Stupid things like questions at the Super Bowl Media Day. But yeah, it's everything here. What are we doing with the Pro Bowl? I know people watch it, and I think maybe you, Victor, brought the ratings up with 6.5 million people tuned in. What are we doing? Go out and see the sun. Go to the park. We don't need to watch this flag football thing. And then if you want the highlights, just go on TikTok or whatever. But it's dumb. And I guess for Josh Jacobs, the Pro Bowl's right there in his backyard in Vegas. So, but if you have to fly out to this, I'm not doing it ever.
I'm with you. The Pro Bowl to me was dumb as well. I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't even watch a second of it. Even if Derwin was playing and everything, I mean, it would have been interesting to watch, but I was like, no, never mind. So I didn't even check it out. Gilbert, something or nothing. The Broncos trading 2 draft picks for Sean Payton and paying him.
Definitely something. I know people are different here, but for me, I don't get the whole trading 2 picks for a coach, and especially one that we see people that I don't know. I'm not a fan of trading draft picks for a coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's a lot of capital. I feel like that's why a lot of teams didn't want to do it because they knew exactly what they had. Not only did you have to give high draft picks, you had to also pay him. And I think he's earning $17 million a year. So there you go. That's a lot of money.
Maybe he could pay for the Ethernet out here at Radio Row.
Oh, that'd be a beautiful thing. Man, I think you could buy everybody in here a Maserati or a Bugatti and still have enough money left over. So, Gilbert, something or nothing, or no, actually, no. Who is now the worst quarterback in the NFC South? So you have The Falcons, Desmond Ritter and Marcus Mariota. The Bucks, Kyle Trask. The Panthers, Matt Corral and Jacob Easton. And the Saints, Jameis Winston and Jake Luton.
You're hurting my ears, Fernando. This is terrible QB depth charts for the South. And who's Jake Luton?
I don't know.
Matt Corral's Mexican. Maybe I'll just go with him. Kyle Trask. Man, can I just take my time and stare at this depth chart? We've seen Jameis Winston, but I'm done with him. So I want to see Matt Corral. No, actually, I don't, but you're making me pick. So give me the Panthers.
The worst one.
Oh, we're a worse. Okay,
Yeah.
I got confused then. The Bucks. Kyle Trask.
I actually think Kyle Trask might actually be pretty good.
Wow, okay. What do I know?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers because they brought in an offensive coordinator. He doesn't have a quarterback. I'm wondering what his quarterback situation is going to look like.
Yeah, Frank Wright though.
No, I know, but
one of these
still.
guys start if they start.
No, I think he brings in some. He has to bring. He's either going to bring somebody in or draft somebody. But I don't think any of those quarterbacks are ready to start.
I'm surprised nobody chose the Falcons because Arthur Smith did not want to play Desmond Ritter.
I actually like Marcus Mariota. It's just that
they kept forcing Ritter, and he was not good.
Yeah, no, he was not good. Speaking of the Falcons, there is a Deion Sanders jersey walking around here. Not Deion Sanders the person. If not, he would have seen my hair come over and be like, "That's my guy right there." But Gilbert, should the Bears trade Justin Fields and draft a quarterback with the number 1 pick?
This is a tough one.
Not for me.
Okay, I think I know where you're going.
No,
I'm gonna say stick with I'm getting confused. Justin Fields, because it's gonna be year 3, and we see a lot of. I know everybody goes with Josh Allen and the jump in year 3, but sometimes it does happen, and I saw enough progress. At least as a playmaker, at least. But I really like the Alabama edge rush. Go get that guy.
I'm with you. I would not trade him. I think. No, I know I threw you for a loop. I think that you need to get him more weapons. That's the thing. He doesn't have any weapons, and that's why I've explained to people. And I get tired of explaining to people that young quarterbacks struggle. Guys that come out of Alabama, guys that come out of these big institutions. Why? Because at those institutions, you had 5-star receivers and you had 5-star running backs, 5-star offensive line. Well, when you get drafted high, you're going to go to a team that doesn't have all that stuff, and you're going to have to learn. Well, Justin Fields has learned the hard way. Now it's time to go get him Orlando Brown, that left tackle. Go get him some weapons, some receivers, some tight ends, and watch. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's like a running back, and he's like Walter Payton out there running the football, and he ran for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns this year. But I think that if they put their heads together, the Chicago Bears could turn that team around, especially because I think Justin Fields is only a couple of weapons away from having that team possibly in the playoffs.
Surprised me.
I know. There you go. I'm a man of many surprises. Gilbert, I kind of touched on this already, but who do you think would be the last team to hire their coach? The Colts or the Cardinals? I already said. I think it's the Colts because I think they're going to wait for Shane Steichen. I feel like he'll take over as their head coach, and we'll see what he could do with the quarterback situation and then the rest of the team. And good luck to whoever takes that Cardinals job because you're going to have to deal with Kyler Murray. Yeah,
we definitely jumped the gun because at this point, like, who's your coach? Just get it over with. And it's going to be funny, Fernando. I'm going to go with the Colts, by the way, for my answer. You go from the Super Bowl in Phoenix, no head coach, to the Combine in Indy, no head coach. So a little wrinkle there.
Ooh.
But, yeah, there you have it.
Interesting. Well, folks, we appreciate you guys so much for checking it out. Hey, do you guys want great content? Do you guys want to see great content?
Yes.
Do you guys want to see what the Compas have been up to this week? No, we're not just hanging out poolside with Uncle Joe and all these people just having little umbrella drinks and just kicking back and everything. No. We're working hard. The whole team is. We're getting interviews. We're getting all kinds of great content for you guys. Go check out all the videos on the YouTube page on Compas on the Beat.
What?
Go check out the Instagram.
What?
And Instagram is Compas OTB. Oh no, Compas on the Beat. Twitter is Compas on the Beat.
OTB.
No, OTB. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm not as good as Dan and Dago. And so go check out the TikTok as well. That's Compas on the Beat as well. Don't forget to go check out all that. We have the content there, but the YouTube channel is really where everything is going. I already dropped a Melvin Gordon interview. I did talk to Shane Steichen, Kaiser White, and Limbaugh Joseph.
What?
So I will be dropping those. Gilbert talked to Omar Ruiz. It was a great interview. We talked to Haley Elwood as well. So check that out. And folks, I'm telling you, you guys are not going to want to miss Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday with the Compas. Make sure you're on the lookout because some special interviews. I'm knocking. Who's on the door? Could it be somebody that says shout out? Could it be a guy that runs an NFL team and a wrestling company? Who knows? Or is it somebody that likes to turn the lights out? I don't know. That's just a little couple of, or maybe it's a champ. A champ. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can't see them. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of champ, Fernando.
He's in Australia.
That too. All right. Oh, by the way, funny story. The champ is here. John Cena followed me on Twitter. I was pretty excited.
By the way, this fool tried to be venomous and vindictive. Hey, guess what? We're having breakfast on Monday morning before we come. Guess what? John Cena followed me. I was like, oh, he's been following me.
Okay.
And his face just drops. And he's like, dang, okay.
He follows like 500,000 people, but who cares?
Exactly.
I don't care anymore. And real quick, speaking of champions, Gio, the podcaster, big Philly fan, Philly special. Talk to you. You're a boy.
You guys need to check that one out because, and bullying has been a big part of all of our lives. I'm sure it's impacted us one way or another. You guys need to go check out Gio. He's a special kid. He's really a good friend of the Compas, and he told me as soon as the Eagles win, I want to come on next week and talk to you guys. That kid is full of life, full of spunk. He's had numerous surgeries. He's had all kinds of stuff. The one thing that hasn't happened to him, his smile has not gone away, which is amazing. So please go check that out. And don't forget, we got a lot of amazing content coming out the rest of the day, so don't forget to go check that out. We appreciate you guys so much. Uncle Joe recommended some pizza shops that we need to go check out. So Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Yeah, well, give me a quick second here. I just want to put into perspective how much content we have because my feet hurt, my back hurt because we were at a Super Bowl media night. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know. I thought about a different song. My neck, whatever.
My back.
Okay, stop. Quick before we go off the rails. Quick shout out to Victor, producer, being on the technical side with equipment. Quick shout out to Dan and Dago, the promo guy. More than a promo, he's taking TikToks. Doing shorts for us. And he has a nice hat here. People love the hat here. Dan and Dago.
And they recognize it.
They recognize it. Dan and Dago, Victor, producer. Appreciate you guys. But yes, definitely check it out. But Fernando, I'm ready. You ready?
Ready.
Ya nos vamos. Pues, vámonos.